Hey, everybody, welcome to a Wednesday night edition of the Glen Kuiper Show here on my YouTube channel. We got a fun show tonight, obviously concentrated on Giants baseball and spring training. We're going to talk about that. We're going to get you ready for spring training because the Super Bowl is Sunday. Spring training starts Tuesday. So a week from right now, the pitchers and catchers will have had a workout at Scottsdale Stadium. So that is how close we are. So we'll have some fun tonight. You know how it works. We like your comments. We like your questions. And we like for you to subscribe as well. So, but before we get going, let's let you know that the Glen Kuiper Show is brought to you by the Carrick Real Estate Team, who have been helping families buy and sell homes across the Bay Area with a legacy of client-first service since 1978. For all your residential real estate needs, the Carrick Real Estate Team will guide you home. Contact Mike Carrick today for a free home sale or purchase consultation. You can do that by calling 925-548-4132. Glen Kuiper Show is also brought to you by Tilden Properties. By investing in California's multifamily real estate with Tilden Properties, you're going to see quarterly dividends and equity buildup in the real estate market. Tilden Properties, Bay Area based and family owned, and has been building investment wealth for their clients since 2008. If you're interested in becoming an investor, call Tilden Properties at 925-209-8558. Glen Kuiper Show also brought to you by Partners Capital LLC, a wealth management firm providing financial strategies for elite performance and lasting peace of mind. They have experience guiding professional athletes and the families next door. Partners Capital delivers thoughtful planning, steady guidance, and a clear path forward. If you're interested and you want your money to go to the right people, go to Partners Capital LLC at 888-702-7743. And the show is also brought to you by Area Rug Cleaning Direct, a subsidiary of Gamble's Flooring. If your area rug needs professional cleaning or repair, Area Rug Cleaning Direct will pick up and return your area rug looking brand new within 5 business days. Call Area Rug Cleaning Direct at 925-933-9999 for all your area rug needs. So thanks to the sponsors, as always, we has now cleared 18,000 subscribers, which we're very, very proud of, thanks to our viewers. But right now, it's time to talk some Giants baseball. We get 2 great guests tonight. They've been on before. I love talking baseball with them. It's Marty Lurie. Of course, he has the great podcast, Marty Lurie and Friends, and Eric Romo, who has the podcast, Giants Sports Talk Live. You can see both those shows on YouTube. Gentlemen, how are you?
Great. Oh, man, it's good to see you. And, baseball is coming up in a week, and there's a lot to talk about. The Framber Valdez stuff today. We wanted him, but it wasn't going to happen at that price. He's a Tiger.
He's a Tiger,
Which means Schoolball is out there. And I've said this on the show before. We'll talk about it, but I love Schoolball. And if I'm the Giants, I'm zeroing in on Schoolball. That is my guy for that rotation for the next 7 years.
All right, Marty's right to the top. Eric, hey,
man,
before we get started, we do have to say happy birthday to Marty. I know 80 years old. What was the actual birth date? Was it
February 1st, Sunday. February 1st, and I appreciate it. And, and it's great in baseball. I love the age. I really do. I was at Ebbets Field. I saw Willie Mays when he was his 4th or 5th year in the big leagues. I saw Jackie Robinson. I've seen Lincecum. I've seen Bumgarner. I've seen Jason Schmidt. I've seen Gary Thomason. I've seen Tito Fuentes. And I've seen Glen Kuiper.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot. Seriously.
That was quite a list, Marty. But I appreciate getting on there. But hey, happy birthday! You're one of my favorite people. You know that. So.
No, I appreciate it. I'm very proud of it. Really.
Yeah,
it's good.
All right, let's get started, guys. Spring training's coming up. Before we're going to throw names out there tonight, like we always do. But I want to find out from each of you guys, like what do you look forward to the most when it comes to spring training? And I'm not talking about individual players. I'm just talking about spring training in general. Eric, what do you think about when it starts?
Oh, man, it's just I think Marty, he's talked about it before. I don't want to steal a line, but the hope springs eternal, right? The season, right? The pieces are been generated, right?
Yeah.
Who are going to be the guys that are going to go out there and make that 26 man? And you know what's always fun, especially at the end of spring training, I'm talking about the end, is who's going to make that 26 roster spot.
Sure. There's always a surprise. There's always a surprise.
Always. Right? And it's fun. The guys are getting out there. You're starting to see the game being played. And it's leading up to the climax of March 25th when the Giants open it up in Oracle Park on a nighttime game against the Yankees. So again, it's just, hey, baseball's coming. Springtime is beautiful here in the Central Valley. It was like 70 degrees. Yep. And it's the change of the weather. You're getting out of the gloomy days of winter. And here we go. We got baseball starting. So gotta love it.
Marty, what's your favorite thing about spring training?
Well, first of all, I'm in Arizona, and I'm telling you, it's 80 degrees, and we're ready. Believe me, we're ready. It's beautiful out here. My favorite part is the hope, because no one's lost a game yet. Everyone's had the greatest winter they could ever have. They're in the best shape they could ever have. Every injury is healed up, the best it could ever heal up. And the fans are now at the park, and they come in at 10 o'clock. And they sit there and they're cheering and they watch the players and everybody's working out. And you have that feeling that nothing is going wrong. Everything is really looking good, and you see the manager and you get to know him. It's the hope. It's what spring is all about in baseball. And it's the renewal. It's bonding again with the game again. It's going through 9 innings and getting the feeling of what it feels like to go through 9 innings, because you got to get ready. Look, March 25th is the first game this year, which is really incredible. So for me, it's seeing everybody at the park, 12,000 on the weekend, at Scottsdale, and the ushers and the people and everything else. It's just a beautiful time. Nothing has gone wrong. It's a good time.
Yeah, Marty, I thought what you said was really interesting. You're bonding with the game again. You're letting the game back into your life again for what's going to be 7 months, hopefully 8 months, right? Because that's what you do with baseball. I don't think you do that with football. I don't think you do that with basketball or hockey. But baseball, because it's every day and it's such a big part of a lot of times people's daily, we're going to watch the game. It's coming on at this time. So I think that's a great way to put it. You're allowing yourself to reconnect with the game of baseball. And that's where it starts, right?
Yeah, the sounds of the game, eating the food in the park, seeing someone and yelling 3 sections over at them. It's just baseball is back in your life again. And seeing John Miller, talking to people, or Dwayne, and it's just in you. And I don't know, there's just something sincere about it. Mm-hmm. And we need it because after the Super Bowl, we say goodbye to football. We'll see you. And now it's baseball's turn to get the stage.
You know what, guys, mine's a little more specific. And Marty, you and I have done this many times, but it really, truly is one of my favorite things. And all the stuff Marty said is very true. Walking in Scottsdale Stadium for the first time for that spring training, I mean, it's a cool feeling. It's like you're happy and you're refreshed and you start seeing people. But the thing I enjoy the most, Marty, is when the team is working out. They may have a game at 1 o'clock. People are starting to trickle in, but when they start going through drills, and Eric, it's the greatest thing because they're putting in their cutoff plays, right? Or even batting practice, but they're doing all these drills and they got a lot of players out there. And I find it fascinating to watch how talented these kids are, but yet you're seeing, hey, what are our cutoff plays going to be this year? And that doesn't seem like a big deal, but when you watch big leaguers do that stuff and they're working on that, and this is the way they're going to run out cutoff play when the season starts. See, I find that fascinating. I could sit there and watch that all day. And it's little things like that I look forward to being at the ballpark, because you get all that. And then, Marty, the game starts at 1, you find a good seat and you enjoy a ball game and you don't care whether they win or lose.
No, that's the deal. Bruce Jenkins and I, we would always go sit in the stands and, watch the game from there. But, you bring up a good point. And if you're coming down to spring training, come out to the park early, even before the games start. Once they let you in, I think it's about 10 o'clock, they let you in for the workout. But you get to see the arms. You get to see the guy throw from center field. You get to see the guy run a fly ball down. You get to watch the infielder's hands. You get to watch Luis Arraez try to catch a ball at second base. you get to watch Devers smack a couple over the eye thing in center field. I don't know. There's that part of it. When you come out early, you can watch the little things of baseball, and I think that's very important. I love that.
That's it, Eric. You need to get down there.
I have to, man. I'm gonna have to do that one of these days to get down there and watch the spring training again. I heard it's nothing but
Well, it's just you're bonding with the game, and you're sitting with your friends, and you're talking about it, and you're still having the same arguments we're going to have tonight. As, where are you going to put Luis Arraez? Where is he going to be?
Oh, we're going to get to him, Marty. We're going to get to him. I can't wait.
Sitting down there talking about it.
But player-wise, specifically, maybe position-wise, something like that, what are you guys looking for when you get to spring training, when you get in that ballpark and you start seeing the guys in the uniforms? And I know I'm curious about the young pitchers. I want to see Tidwell. I want to see more McDonald. I want to see Birdsong. Does he got to straighten out? Because I think that is a huge thing. It's pretty obvious the Giants are not, they're not signing another starting pitcher, I don't think. And that puts a lot more importance on these young guys. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Is somebody going to jump out from this non-roster invitee group that came out today? We're going to talk about that. I could see somebody jumping out of that for a bullpen spot. And you see these young kids that you've read about, Davidson. Bo Davidson is a non-roster invitee. Parks Harbor, guys we've read about, but we haven't seen them. We don't even really know what they look like. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking forward to seeing those kids that we've read a lot about. But, so that's sort of narrowing it down from an individual standpoint. What will I be looking for? What about you guys?
Eric, go ahead.
I tell you what I'll be looking at, Elliot Ramos. How's he doing out there in left field? Yeah. I mean, we all understand his bat will play, and it's fantastic. But the guy cannot catch a ball for the life of him, or in some cases, being able to throw a ball. So that's something that I'll be keeping an eye on. It looks like Ramos is not going to get traded. He's probably going to be on the team. He's going to be the starting left fielder. And I want to see what he's done. Has he worked on his craft in the offseason to be out there and be a serviceable left fielder, hopefully more than that. But I want to see him go out there and take care of the business as far as catching that ball.
Yeah, most of the guys, you just want to see him on the field. Like Glenn said, Tidwell. I want to see how he throws. Yeah. He's not going to make the team. 95% of these guys that, these extra pitchers are not going to be on the team. But they're going to be in the big leagues at some point this year, believe me. And a lot of what they do in spring training is making that impression. And you want to see what Drew Gilbert can do in a full spring training. You want to see what Devers can do in a full spring training. But the one guy I think everyone's going to look at, and that's Eldridge, because he's the key to a lot for this ball club. He's a potential number 5 hitter. He's a DH. He's a first baseman type. He has an impact on Devers. He has an impact on Arraez and what's going to happen with him. And also, he's a kid and he strikes out like crazy, but he had a couple of days down here in spring training, one against the Rangers. Remember, he hit the ball like 500 feet or something, and then he struck out like 12 times in a row. But, you want to see him play. You want to see what he's going to do. But for many of these guys, the Seymours of the world, the McDonalds of the world, most of them will not be on the team. But you want to see him in a game just to see him play if you're going to need him later on in the year. So I think that's very important. And the one guy, and I'll jump ahead to this because, he's important, is Bednar. He's the other guy I want to watch. He's a number 1 pick. When he was at Mississippi State in that College World Series, I said, something? He could go from Mississippi State. He could go to the major leagues right now with the slider that this guy's got. And his brother is David Bednar, who's now with the Yankees, is a closer. But Will Bednar was a #1 pick for the Giants. He's been hurt, his back. It's been a disaster. But now he's 27, which is nothing for a reliever. But if this guy is healthy and they can use him in spring training and he looks like his pitch is happening and he's healthy, I think this guy could be the key to the bullpen because they need a closer.
Wow. Yeah, Will Bednar, part of the list of non-roster invitees. And if you're not sure what that is, well, there's a 40-man roster, and all the 40-man rosters in spring training. And then teams invite guys who are not on the roster, and there's a list. The Giants put it out today, and Marty's talking about Will Bednar, who's on that list. So yeah, I mean, I think you make interesting points. He has not had a lot of success in pro ball. That's my concern a little bit, Marty.
Yeah.
Does he still have the tools? I would imagine he does, right? But the success just hasn't been there. And how much is that due to injuries? We're going to find out. But I like that you threw a name out there that maybe people are like, oh, yeah, I forgot about that guy. Well, that's what happens in spring. That's what spring training's for. You're going to see guys like this. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know, Eric, I think hey, there's 2 or 3 spots, maybe 4 spots in that bullpen that could go to some of these young starters, could go to somebody like Marty just threw out there. I think this big group of pitchers that are kind of vying for what is a couple spots maybe in that bullpen, that to me is going to be fascinating because it's a big group.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the Giants wanted. They said, listen, let's get a bunch of guys competing and 2 or 3 guys, maybe they'll jump out and grab these spots in the bullpen. I don't think that's out of the question at all.
No, but for spring training, you want to see him on the field. You want to see Hayden Birdsong throw 7 innings or 8 innings in spring training. Go 1, 2, 3, make 4 or 5 appearances. It's a short spring training. With the WBC in the middle of it, and of course March 25th coming up. Mm-hmm. But for me, Birdsong, I want to see him throw strikes. I don't care if it's in Scottsdale, Surprise, Tempe, or where the game is. I want to see the guy come in and give me 3 innings of clean baseball because he's got a shot this year to be a very important part of the pitching staff.
No
and
question.
The same thing with McDonald and Seymour and Glenn, the ones that you're referring to.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
want to see them on the field throwing strikes, looking like major league pitchers. That's what you want to see. Because look, it's spring training. After the first 4 or 5 innings, the regulars are gone, and the guys who come in and you don't know who they are. But you want to see them, whoever they're facing, look like they know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Eric, your thoughts?
Absolutely, yeah. Because I was so high on Birdsong last year, I really wanted him to make the rotation coming out of spring training. They had that big competition between Roop and Birdsong, and I was really rooting for Birdsong. And he was fantastic, right? Coming out of the bullpen last year, he was on fire. They put him in a rotation. He had a couple of good outings, and then he just lost it. And I was like, okay, he's going to get it back. He goes down to Sacramento, but he continued to, for some reason, could not find a strike zone. I don't know what caused it. I don't know if it's something between the ears or if it's a mechanics thing, but yeah, to what Marty was saying, Birdsong is going to be an important part. Maybe he's in the bullpen, maybe he cracks the rotation, but I would like to see what he's going to be able to do. And we talked about another guy, right? Trent Harris. He was a guy that was talked about last year as well. Mm-hmm. The guy's got unbelievable command. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't think he had, if I could be wrong. I can't remember if he had the strikeout pitch, so to speak, but he can locate. So maybe that's another guy that we're going to look at too. And look, the bullpen is still an area of concern for the Giants, right? Who's going to close? Is it going to be Ryan Walker? That one's going to be tough to see Ryan Walker come in the 9th. If on March 25th and the Giants have to close it out and it's Ryan Walker coming out of the bullpen, that one's going to be a little weird. So maybe they go out and get Kopech. I don't know. I wouldn't mind that. We talked about that a little bit yesterday, Marty. The guy has had experience in the 9th, and he's a major leaguer and he can throw the ball. Whether or not he could stay on the field, that's a different story. But yeah, that bullpen needs to be fortified a bit more, specifically with the closer.
Well, I'll give you this. Bivens is going to be on the team. That's one. Brubaker's on the team. That's two. These are bullpen guys.
Mhm.
Buto is three. Walker is four. Gage is five. Henches is going to be six. Eric Miller could be seven. So I think those, if you carry three lefties, those are seven. And then you get the five starters. That's 12. So there's two spots left.
Yeah, I don't know, Marty. I would say, I'm not sold on Bivens and Brubaker making it.
Really?
Because to me, that's a little redundant. I'm not sold on Cage making it.
Okay.
I just,
they brought these guys back. I mean, the Brubaker, they could have non-tendered him, and they dealt.
I'm just thinking. I just think if somebody's lights out, if a couple of these names were thrown out there, and
Well, here's the thing: you don't want to take Tidwell and put him in for 3 innings a week. He's got to pitch somewhere. With that arm. Now, if you're going to make him
they did that with Birdsong last year, and he was pretty good out of the bullpen.
Well, he was, but they had a little bit of a history with him because he was up before that. So at least they knew a little bit of what he could do. But I don't even have Birdsong on my list. I don't have Beck on my list either. And I don't have Peguero on my list. So when you really boil it down, for the young kids, I think they're looking for them to be depth pieces later on.
Maybe.
Behind Hauser and Malley and Roop. That's what I think they're really looking to see if any of these guys jump out. I don't think they're looking at these guys in the pen. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. I don't know that I fully agree with that. I think it's wide open. I think Walker's going to be there. I think, Miller's going to be there. Hedges, if he's ready to go, he'll be there because he's pretty good lefty reliever. And to me, after that, I think it's completely wide open.
Well, Buto's got to be there.
Why does he have to be there?
Oh, come on! He was a major piece of the trade, and
did he impress the heck out of you last year?
Yeah, he impressed me enough that I don't see anyone better than him. Let's put it that way. And in spring, they know in spring training going in. As I say, you put Buto in the 6th inning against the AAA Angels, and he strikes everybody out. It's not a big deal. They know maybe their opinion of him is like yours. I think with Brubaker and Buto, they like both of them. I do.
All right.
We'll see. But it's going to be fun to watch Tidwell and Seymour and McDonald.
Tidwell will be fun.
Peguero, Tidwell. What wasn't him?
McDonald having a good spring with the way he throws. I don't think it's out of the question that they would keep him in the bullpen.
I agree. McDonald is a guy because
you're not going to have 3 of those guys down there. I would agree with you there, but I just think that
McDonald showed you something last year. Why not? If he comes in healthy and he looks like he can do it. What about the outfield? Let's talk about that a little bit. What do you do with Encarnacion and Matos and Gilbert? When you start looking at the bench, you can't have everybody on the bench, because Schmidt's going to be on there. Castle could be on there. What's going to happen in the outfield, though?
Well, I think you probably carry 4 outfielders. You don't need a first baseman, and I think that's going to hurt Encarnacion.
Schmidt could even play first if you needed him.
Absolutely, he could. He does a good job.
So can Arraez.
Is Gilbert? Do you like having Gilbert on the bench?
Yeah,
he's a terrific outfielder. I think he's an absolutely well above average center fielder. But can he hit? That's the big thing.
Yeah.
Listen, you got to be careful with Bader too. He's a guy that I don't know that he's going to play 150 games. He plays hard. He gets dinged up a little bit, and he's going to run out there a lot. But you may have to have somebody that can play some center field as well.
Well, that's Gilbert. Gilbert is the only one who can, or McRae. And I think McRae is kind of at the end of the list, unfortunately, because he's
Maybe I would, I mean, I think I think it has to do a little bit like is Eldridge a for sure thing? See, I don't think Eldridge is a for sure lock. This 26 roster. I think we all want him to be because it's a sexy story and it's great. I would love to have it. I mean, it'd be great opening day lineup, Eldridge in there somewhere. I don't know that that's a for sure thing at all. If you take him out of the mix, you still have Schmidt who could play first. Arraez could play first. So you're still okay there, in my opinion, if maybe the Giants feel like Eldridge isn't quite ready. But that then does affect, I think, your outfield a little bit, Marty. Do you keep Encarnacion? I don't know. I mean,
if Eldridge goes to the minor leagues, it saves a job for Matos, who's got no options left, or for Encarnacion.
See, but I don't think so.
Eldridge knocks one of those two off the team if he stays.
Well, you only have 4 extra players.
So you got the catcher.
You got a catcher. You got Koss if you want him to be your backup. You got your outfielder. If it's Gilbert, that's 3. And then if you have Schmidt, that's 4. That's it.
You get one more. You get 5.
Unless they go with the longer bullpen, right?
Well,
if they go with the deeper bullpen.
I'm counting the DH as 9 people. So who's going to DH? Yeah, so you're right, but still, the point is somebody's getting knocked off the team if Eldridge is on the team. Yeah, probably. But again, that would be a good thing if he's on it. So.
Can I ask you guys a question real quick?
Yeah,
real quick to go back to the pitching. Are you guys concerned about innings pitched for the rotation? We got 3 guys that haven't gone over 100 innings. Is that a concern? Or is that depth enough?
Well,
I'm with Marty a little bit. I mean, I do know the Giants have a lot of confidence and they like this young group of pitchers that are kind of waiting in the wings. And I think they feel like, listen, if we're going to get back to where we want to get to, we need more young pitching to step up. And these guys at some point are going to get an opportunity because of, potentially reasons that you just brought up, Eric. Are all 5 guys going to stay healthy? God, that'd be great, but that doesn't happen. That's not reality. So let's have these kids we're talking about ready. And let's have, and I've said this so many times, guys, let's have a couple of these guys grab a rotation spot. Tidwell, it's there for you. McDonald, Wisenhunt, it's there for you. Birdsong, let's go. Because there's nothing better for our organization than to have young pitchers step up. You don't have to pay them anything, and they're young, and their arms are fresh. It's the greatest thing ever, and that's what the Giants need to get to.
Yeah, but they already signed Malley and Hauser. Yeah, they're not going into the bullpen. Malley's not going in the bullpen. Hauser's
that's why you have these young guys in AAA starting or ready to go.
Well, I think your point is better, the one you made, and that is these guys don't go 7. There's only one guy going 7. That's Webb. Rayo probably could go 5 2/3, can go 6. For Malley and for Roop and for
Hauser,
you want Birdsong ready in the 5th inning to take you to the 8th if you can do it. You want McDonald to do that, and you can use these guys like that.
Sure.
And I think that's your point. And I think that could happen out of spring training because you don't. First of all, early in the season, you don't stretch your guy out to 7 innings anyway. You need some depth behind it. So spring training becomes a lot more interesting for me with a Seymour, with a Tidwell, with a McDonald, with Bivens or Beck or those guys or Birdsong to see if those guys can be the depth pieces behind the starters early in the season. Because guys, other than Logan Webb, they're not going 7.
Yeah. I think it's interesting. And I think it's one of the big stories to watch is how does the bullpen shake out? But, what roles will they have? Do you keep a couple of these young starters to do like Marty just said? So, these are all questions that are going to come.
Yeah.
It'll all come together like it always does. Somebody may get hurt, but yeah, I mean, listen, I think it's fascinating. But really, for the most part, for me, the position players, I don't know that there's a lot. There's not really any openings, in my opinion.
Well, what are you going to do for a backup catcher? Where are you going for that?
Listen, it could be Susak. It could be they signed the guy from Milwaukee.
Yeah.
So, but my point is, it's going to be one of those guys.
Yeah. So one of those guys, and then you get Schmidt, and you get Koss, and then you got the outfield thing to do. Then you have the Eldridge kicker.
That's it, right?
Yeah. So let me tell you, this is like with Luciano last year, and with these guys. We watched it all spring, and when it came to the end of spring, they just couldn't carry these guys, and that's Matos and Canarcion are in that position.
Yeah, and I don't know that there's room for those guys unless something changes. I don't, what could change in the outfield? You need, I think you got to think about the defensive part of that as well. I think, so I don't know. Who knows? We could be off. Maybe Matos still has a chance. Maybe
you don't want to lose him.
Doesn't look right at the plate. I mean, who knows? That's not out of the question, I don't think. But
no, NorCal fan 11 wants to know, is Wisenhunt a better reliever or starter? I'd use him as a reliever right now.
Maybe.
Why not?
Sure.
I'd see if he could be a reliever as opposed to jamming him into the starting rotation. So there's no real spot for him. Yeah, that's a guy I'd love to see go 3 innings and strike out 5 and throw strikes. He's got the change up to do it.
Yeah. I mean, hey, that's absolutely. I mean, that's maybe where you use these guys. Who knows, right?
Well, Matos,
that's fascinating stuff.
Mike wants to know, Matos is the odd man out. It's tough to give up on Matos because he has had those moments where he really has just smacked the ball around. And you've invested so many years with the kid, growing up. Now he's getting to be a man. And now you're going to let him go? I would let Encarnacion go before I'd let Matos go.
Yeah, probably. But like I said, there may not be room
for either.
You know what? My thing with Matos, and I think he's a talented kid, and he's been up and down, and but I never saw one part of his game that stood out. Okay.
Yeah.
Does he hit for average? Does he hit for power?
A little bit.
Does he got speed, stolen base speed?
No.
Is he a good defender?
Should be.
Should be, but yeah.
Yeah,
does he have an arm? And are his baseball instincts good? That was always my concern. Like, nothing doesn't mean he was bad at them. It just nothing jumped out where it's like that can help you right there at the big league level. That was always a little bit of my concern there.
He was a ball to contact guy when at some point, remember, it was tough to strike.
Yes, he was a contact guy.
Yeah, but that's fine if you're getting, that's fine if you're Luis Arraez getting 180 hits a year, right? If you're a ball, bat to ball contact guy. If you're just making a ton of outs, and he
was young, and it looked like he had that ability for a young kid. Then it went south on him. So maybe, look, they know what they want to do. It's just a question of seeing how it plays out. The other thing you bring up, what about Bo Davidson? You got to look for depth in Sacramento.
Yeah.
Because Bader, as you point out, Bader is no lock to play 160 games. No. Ramos, you need a backup left fielder for Ramos late in the game, perhaps. Lee is solid. He's going to give you, a lot of innings. And they love Gilbert. And it's Vitello. You can tell Vitello, is in love with Gilbert. Sorry. We can't use him. That's going to be a tough discussion when it comes to Gilbert, because
I think, maybe this is wishful thinking, but the reports I've heard, you guys have read, I think you're going to see a much better Elliot Ramos this year. I do. I think he gets it. What he's been doing. He's been in Arizona all fall. And I think he understands this part of my game needs to be better. And I can be a really, really, really good player if I can. And you know what? For some reason, he was better in 2024, worse in 2025 defensively. That to me tells me it's not necessarily a skill level. Maybe it's a concentration level.
Yeah. Well, he can hit. Look, the guy can hit. The guy can hit. He shows up every day. He plays every day. He can hit. He's got power. And even though we took him apart last year, we did every week.
We weren't the only ones.
Every week.
He's a smart kid. He likes to play.
Yeah.
He plays hard. And that's coming from the Giants people that they said, listen, this kid, he's got the right attitude. He just needs to lock in, concentrate, and there's no reason why he can't be a good left fielder. There's no reason.
This Bo Davidson becomes interesting because he will be a depth piece at Sacramento. And I think he can play center field, can't he?
Yeah, they say he can. Yeah, right? I'm looking forward to seeing him.
So, they need a backup center fielder, for Baden. You need that. So
I don't know. You don't want to stunt his growth either. I think the Davidson guy has a chance to be a big everyday big league player.
Yeah, he'll start at Richmond or Sacramento.
Yeah, I mean he's maybe a little ways away yet, but we're going to see him. We'll get a good look at him in spring training. Remember, Jung-Hoo Lee's playing in the WBC. Mm-hmm. Elliot Ramos is playing in the WBC, so we're going to get to see these guys, which I'm actually kind of looking forward to.
Yeah.
Hey, we got a super chat from Bake That Dough. You guys know Bake That Dough. Marty, I'd rather serve you some cookies for your birthday than leaving up to the Giants pitching to do so.
Well, they can serve up some cookies. That's very good. I like that. Bake That Dough.
Bake That Dough. Yeah,
love it.
I put on 4 pounds just thinking about it. I put on 3 pounds just reading that. All right, guys, let's move on to something I'm dying to hear you guys' opinion on. It's Luis Arraez, okay? And we know the numbers, but I have got a headache from what I have said is just complete. I mean, it's just complete over-analysis of this guy as a hitter. And I'm not anti-analytics. I'm not. I think it's interesting. I think it says a lot, but I just, my head's going to explode. It's like, stop. Okay. I mean, the guy can hit. He's not a perfect player. He's got defensive issues. He's trying to fix them. And I got a reason for that as well. But I think the Giants are a better team with Luis Arraez on their roster. And isn't that what it's all about? They their roster, right?
The guy is here for one reason: to hit.
Yes,
and he can hit. And whether it's singles or whatever it is, it's a big ballpark. It's bigger than he's used to playing in. He can slap the ball down the right field line. He can hit a ball off the top of his head. He can slap a ball into the gap. He's going to help Jung-Hoo Lee, who's going to watch the way this guy swings. And Jung-Hoo Lee's going to hit down on the ball, and he's going to have a better year. Luis Arraez is a major league hitter with 3 batting titles. Enough. That's it. If you bring him off the bench, if you want to play Schmidt against certain pitcher, whatever, and you want him in the 7th inning when you got 2nd and 3rd and 1 out, you need a ball hit to the outfield. Absolutely. I want Arraez coming up. He's a major leaguer. He's a major leaguer with 3 batting titles. Come on. We're talking Bill Madlock here and people like that. This is a serious player. Defensively, he's not a great second baseman. No, so you put up with it. You take him out of the game in the 7th inning if it's a 2-1 game. And you think he's already hit in the 7th inning and he's not coming up again for 2 more innings, you take him out. That's what the manager is there for. So I love him. I love him.
I'm good with it too. Eric, what do you think about
I love it. It balances the lineup. You got a guy in there that's a contact hitter, something that the Giants don't have right now. And I think it's fantastic. He links the lineup. And look, How many times did we see last year with the Giants? You got runners in scoring position, less than 2 outs. All you need is to put the ball in play, and you got a run coming across, and they just couldn't get it done. And the guy's going to add something to that. He's going to, if he comes up in one of those situations, more times than not, he's making contact. Right? He doesn't strike out. Granted, he doesn't take a whole lot of walks, but the key is he's not going to strike out, and the guy's a hitting machine. My gosh. I mean,
on this team, they need him.
Yes.
Some other teams may not need him as much. This team needs him.
Yes.
This team has to make contact and has to get out of that striking out with guys in runnings and scoring position. This guy changes that.
Yeah.
So I think, and look, it's up to the manager and everyone else to work with him. So he's not slick at second. He's not, but he's not terrible.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, metrics are metrics. Forget about him. I want to watch the guy play.
Yeah. I got a couple things on this, and I'm curious to see what you guys think. One is, so he played first base last year a lot, didn't play much second, and he can hit. We all know that, blah, 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 blah. Is it possible that he may have seen this year as a free agent for the first time, wow, the offers aren't as robust as I thought?
Mm-hmm.
I know he had some 2-year deals out there, but my guess is he may have said to himself, listen, I'm 28 years old. I got a lot of years left to play in the big leagues.
Mm-hmm.
If I want to keep getting paid, I need to be better at second base. Because I know from what I've been told that he's been working as a middle infielder, second baseman all winter long to try to improve. He knows he's going to get Ron Washington. But here's my point, guys, is a motivated athlete at the professional level, to me, is not somebody I'm going to overlook. I think he's motivated to be better defensively for his own career.
Yeah.
And I think he may have found that out this offseason, where teams are like, well, we want you to play first base, or we want you to DH. That's what teams want to do with him. Okay. I don't think he wants to DH. I think he wants to extend his career because, again, he's only 28.
Mm-hmm.
The best way to do that for Luis Arraez is to get better defensively at second base.
Yeah. See, I think the market. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But the market doesn't respect him as a hitter.
Yeah.
Because if he hits all the singles, he doesn't drive in a ton of runs. He doesn't hit with power. Walks, of course, exceed the strikeouts. He strikes out 3% of the time. But the market was not his friend analytically as a hitter. He did not get the respect as a hitter because of the way people look at analytics today. Defensively, that was not the issue, because you could always find a spot for a guy who can hit. I mean, and let's say Devers. If Devers was a terrible defender, believe me, you'd find a spot to put the guy in the lineup because he can hit. For some reason, Arraez didn't get that respect, and I think that's motivating him too.
My point, Marty, is the reason he signed with the Giants was because they said you can play second base, which tells me that he wants to play second base.
Yeah,
right.
Well, the only place he can play
somewhere else for a 2-year deal. He wants to play second base. That's why I think he's motivated to get better defensively, knowing what he can do offensively, and that will make him a more attractive player when he's 29 and a free agent and still has some years ahead of him. That's the way I look at it.
Now, there's a question. Put that one up, Eric. The last comment.
Ryan's got to get that one.
Here, I can get it for you. Which one?
Yeah, this last one about the difference between a single and a walk.
Oh, Marcus. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, there it is. Okay.
No, a single is a big deal. It means you've beaten the pitcher. You've hit the ball somewhere. Things can happen. An outfielder can drop the ball. It could go in a gap. Guys can go first to third. It gets a rally started.
I agree.
The pitcher's got to start thinking about it. Yeah, I think there's a huge difference.
Yes, there absolutely there is. And listen, to me, it's like he's a good fit for the Giants because the things that they lacked last year, he's pretty good at, right?
Yeah.
Right. And think about how many times we all sat and watched a Giants game. And I know I felt this way where they just had innings where there were no base runners. There just wasn't anything going on. I always felt like they needed more hits in a game. And if you think about it, right?
They were 28th inning, weren't they? Something like that.
The second worst batting average in the National League.
Yeah.
Okay. They had the second fewest hits in the National League. Well, you're adding a guy who led the league in hits and had the fourth best batting average in the National League. So that's the point I think we're all trying to make here is that he's going to help the Giants offense.
Yeah, and he's fun. He's a good guy. He's fun. I want to watch his at-bats. He gives you a good at-bat. It's going to be fun to watch him. It's going to be fun to watch him slap the ball all over the place and make something happen. Yeah. It's going to be fun. And that brings us to the other guy, Bader. Mm-hmm. All the things we just said about Arraez, you can apply to Bader too.
The exact opposite, though, right? Because Bader's is it's a defensive thing with Bader. He's terrific, but there's no question, I don't think, about his defense.
You know, to tell you the truth, I've never noticed him defensively. I haven't. Have you?
I mean,
seen a few highlights. Yeah,
a lot of highlights. I mean, he's running around making and listen.
Okay, I'm going to look forward to that in spring training. Seriously, of watching him work out, because I don't have a recollection of him doing anything other than being like an aggressive guy on the field and with the Phillies having a good playoff and things like that. So, but he's major leaguer all the way. This is, and instead of yesterday, this isn't the guy who's going to get DFA'd on Friday and signed on Monday and DFA'd on Thursday.
No, he's going to run around. Here. Yeah, and he plays with an edge, which I think they like a lot. You know, so I'm good with it. Listen, is he going to hit 280? Probably not. He's a defensive first outfielder. Who's got some pop. He runs pretty well. He's a good athlete. Yeah. He's not a huge base stealer, but you know, my thing too, guys, is like we wanted the Giants to be better defensively in center field, which they are. And I think they're better in the outfield because Lee's going to go to right. We also wanted them to be a little bit more creative offensively, right? A little more action offensively. Mm-hmm. And I think they've done that. To me, it's like they've kind of hit two areas that they clearly needed to get better at. We wanted them to strike out less, right? Yes. Are those not the complaints we've thrown out the last couple years? They strike out too much. Outfield defense isn't very good.
Yep.
Well, they hit those two areas. I'm sorry there's no Kyle Tucker for $60 million a year. But they've hit the two areas that we've all talked about probably too much, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they're not, look, these are not guys who are going to the Hall of Fame. They're probably not going to be all-stars, probably not, although who knows, Arraez could, be hitting 400. But, they're major leaguers, and that's the big thing for me. Glenn, I got a question for you, and that is, what is this team going to look like under Tony Vitello? Do you think you're going to notice something different?
Yeah, I do. I think
what?
Yeah.
And what compared to Bob Melvin? What are we looking at here?
I mean, listen, I don't want to compare him to Bob because Bob is a terrific manager. He just had a different personality, and this guy's personality.
What's the game going to look like under Vitello?
Well, I think to me, the game has a lot to do with your players, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there are some new additions that we're talking about. But you got, you may want to run, you may want to be aggressive, but you have to have players that can do that. If you don't have guys that have some speed, then you can't do anything that, you can't start runners and steal bases. But I mean, I think that his edge, I think, is going to rub off a little bit on these guys. As far as the actual, what are they going to do on the field differently? I don't know that that's going to jump out. I think that has more to do with the players. But I think they will play for this guy. I do. And they played hard for Bob. I mean, everybody respected Bob. This is just a completely different thing. But I also don't want to sit here, Marty, and think that I have any idea what's going to happen because it's such a new thing. And I'm super excited to see this guy manage. And he's going to take some lumps.
Well,
but he's good people around him.
Why don't they have a coaching staff named yet? What's going on here?
That I don't know. I mean, I know that I think they have all the people lined up.
Yeah, what are they waiting for?
But I have not heard, honestly, I have not heard a reason, why there hasn't been any big announcement or anything like that. I've never been concerned about it, but yeah, I don't know. I don't have that answer for you, Marty.
For me, I want to see how he handles the bullpen because he's got a starting staff, as we said earlier, of guys who are not going 7. They're not going 8. You got one guy who's going to, can you give him the ball and he's going to give it back to you in the 7th inning. Everybody else you don't know. So that he's going to have to make a lot of moves in that critical part of the game, which is the 5th, 6th, 4th, 3rd out in the 4th inning to the 6th inning. The critical part of the game where a game could get away, and that's where the save can happen. So to see how he handles that and who advises him, because he's never done this before with these kind of players, over 162. You can't, play every game like it's a 7th game of the World Series like I'd like to do myself. But it doesn't work like that. You got to pace people. But I think
to think he won't have point pains is, I think that's, we're missing the point.
But I want to. Here's the answer that I think you're going to look at a different hitting philosophy. You're going to look at more of what we saw with the Blue Jays, where you're going to go the other way and start guys and cut down on your swing to some degree.
Yeah.
I think that's what he's going to bring to the table. He's not going to be afraid to send a guy 1st to 3rd.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. But that may have a little bit to do with, they got a new hitting coach in Hunter Mentz who played for Vitello, and so they know each other, and he came from Toronto. We know what we liked from the Blue Jays. So, I think that's a great point, Marty. I think, maybe there's a philosophy there with a new hitting coach, and, we should be able to do more of this.
And you see it in spring training. We will see it in spring training. We've seen it with teams that all of a sudden run.
Yeah.
Spring training, they run like crazy.
Putting pressure on the defense. That's what you want to do, right?
Yeah, I'm telling you, we're going to see it. And you're going to see something in spring training that's going to be his stamp offensively.
Yeah. Well, and we'd all like to see, we'd all like to see him strike out less. I mean, that's sort of the simple thing that we'd all like to see. So that's something to watch for too. Guys are going to strike out. Listen, Adames is going to strike out. They're but maybe they all strike out 25, 30 times less, right? That can make a big difference, right?
Who's your leadoff hitter?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm gonna do a full show one of these nights, guys, on lineup ideas because there's so many different things that you could do. I mean, you want to do it's Arraez, but I don't know. Is that set in stone? I mean, Arraez, he's a 349 career hitter with runners in scoring position. That's pretty good.
Bat him fifth. Yeah,
that's pretty good. But he's not going to hit out of the park. I get that. There's not going to be a 3-run homer. I don't know. Do you hit him second?
Yeah, I hit him second.
Would you?
Yeah, I hit Bader 9th.
Okay.
And I still like Ramos. I still like Ramos at the top of the order.
Really?
Yeah.
I do.
I don't
have a problem with that either.
The lineup flips over, he can hurt you. The guy has and I'd have Arraez at second and have Bader in that 9 spot, get him on base, and have Arraez use his magic with the bat to get him in scoring position for Devers and Adames. And then I'd move Chapman to the 6th spot.
Yeah, I think Chapman needs to be in the 5th or 6th. I think that's probably his best spot maybe the fifth hole. Because listen, he was not good last year with runners in scoring
We
position.
can't have him. We talked about it on the show. If someone brought it up, Eric, you can't have Adames and Chapman back to back.
No.
Yeah, because I don't think Devers struck out a lot last year, but that was almost uncharacteristic. I mean, he struck out, I don't have the exact numbers, but it's something like 45 more times last year than ever in his career. So I think that's going to come back to reality. I think Devers is going to have a monster year. I do.
I'm looking forward to him a full year. That's something we haven't even really talked about. Where is Devers going to do?
Like him in spring training, do that. Be that kind of guy in spring training. It doesn't always translate into the season, but yeah, he's getting a lot of fastballs to hit. No one's throwing him changeups every other pitch, and he should have a good spring training.
Marty, you did what you were talking about, and again, I love talking lineups because everybody has a different idea, and nobody's off base, right?
Well,
but you could have Chapman fifth, you could have Lee sixth. And if Eldridge is there, I would keep Eldridge down in the lineup. Don't put him in the
right.
That's not fair.
Eldridge 7, Bailey 8, and Bader 9.
Here you go. That's
matter of fact, there's Marcus. Marcus has it right there.
I'm texting Vitello right now. I'm going to give him Marty. But I don't think that the Ramos first, Arraez second thing. I don't know that they'll do that, but I don't think that's a horrible idea. I really don't.
Look, Ramos gets.
What about Jung-Hoo Lee in the top spot?
I like Jung-Hoo Lee. No?
Ramos in the fifth spot.
If Jung-Hoo Lee would sort of stay with it, he just rolls over so many times. He just rolls over to that second baseman.
Yeah,
that's fascinating.
He becomes a new kind of hitter, and becomes that kind of hitter. Yeah.
Yeah,
I always last year. Remember, Eric? I said they should be leading them off.
Yes,
a million times. I said that.
Yep.
Yeah,
he never quite earned it. He never quite earned it.
I decided because there's so many different possibilities early in the lineup. I said I'm going to start from the back and just try to get that clear. And I think I like Bader 9, Bailey 8th, Eldridge 7th. That's what the other stuff. There's just so many different things that we could throw out there. So that'll be a fun thing to watch. That'll be a fun thing to watch in spring training, how they do this, because some of those guys are going to be gone for the WBC, as we mentioned.
What did Ramos hit last year? Didn't Ramos hit like 275 or something like
270,
that? 270,
right? Hold on,
he's one of the better average hitters in the team.
I think he had 20 home runs, right?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't think he was – I thought he did a decent job in the leadoff spot. He's just he's a power hitter in the leadoff spot.
Ooh. 256, 21 home runs.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was his on base percentage?
So I'm gonna look at right now.
Not that that's the end all be all, but
these ads. On base 328.
Yeah. All right. So I mean, listen.
Hey,
I mean, listen. I don't think it's a bad. I think it's a terrible idea. I mean, so anyways.
Look, the league. The league hits 240.
Yeah, tell me about it.
And the Giants hit 236 as a team, whatever they hit. They were.
And I looked it up, you guys. There was not one spot in the Giants' batting order last year that hit over 250.
Wow.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Not one of those spots, whoever was in it, not one of those spots hit over 250. So you're going to tell me that Luis Arraez isn't going to help this team?
Of course.
No. I mean, Arraez is terrific.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch. And you know what? I'm sticking with the whole a motivated player can make a big difference.
Okay.
And I think he's really motivated to show people that he can be a competent middle infielder because that's where he wants to play.
Okay. Well, I think that theory would apply to the pitching staff too. Yeah. All these kids, every one of them should be motivated because their careers are at stake here.
Absolutely, you got a shot, man. You got a shot. Grab it. So, all right, guys. I think we covered everything. We could sit here for 3 hours. I know
we could.
All right, let me say a couple of things.
Yes.
One, of course, our sponsor up at Bodega Bay, the Wharf restaurant, and then the Inn at the Tides and it's great up there at Bodega Bay. We had one of our listeners send me a beautiful email this week. They're up there this week at the Inn at the Tide. So appreciate that. Rick Robin Construction up in Napa, Georgie Brothers Furniture, Original Joe's. We had someone early in the chat had lunch today at Original Joe's in Walnut Creek. So those are just a few of the people that helped me get along. The other thing is Mardi Gras. Which is the big dinner we have the night before the home opener at Original Joe's in San Francisco. It's, I'd say, about 2/3 sold out right now, and I haven't even started yet.
Wow.
It's March 24th. If you want to go, it's $75 a person. You get a full dinner, drink, dessert, the whole thing, gratuity included. Marty Lurie at yahoo.com. Just send me an email, and I'll send you the information. And the other thing is the movie, the baseball mensch, the Marty Lurie story, and Glenn is in it and has a very big part in it. It's really fun to watch it. It is now on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, awesome. That's awesome.
Go to Baseball Mensch, MENSCH, and you'll see everybody in the movie. You will know. Trust me, you will know everybody. And it's the Marty Lurie story, so it's on Amazon Prime. So I want to let everybody know that they all can go and see it now. So that's it for me, and I just appreciate being on. And Glenn does a great job. He works hard. This whole thing in less than a year, you've turned into something really special. So
thank you. And you know what? I just have to tell you, Marty, it's nice hanging out with a movie star. You know, Eric. I mean, it's special.
I know. Right? How about that?
we're not going to be able to go in any restaurants in Scottsdale with Marty. Like, like the paparazzi's going to be waiting for us outside.
That's the beauty of being 80. Right?
Nice.
That's great. You know what, Marty? I'm proud of you because you and I go way back, and the movie's fantastic, and I appreciate you having me be part of the movie. It actually meant.
Well, it's very important for you, and people know that. And you're very good in the movie, and you explain a lot of things, and all the hard work you've done is well deserved. Well deserved.
All right, Eric, finish it.
All right. Hey, again, guys, check out Giant Sports Talk Live. We'll be going live. As a matter of fact, we'll go live tonight at 8:00. We got a new sponsor this year. How about that? Tommy's Mexican Restaurant has come on, and they're sponsoring us. As a matter of fact, we're gonna have a little get together in the middle of March, so that should be a lot of fun.
That's great.
But yeah, we're going on 3 times a week, talking Giants baseball, doing our thing, and once the season starts, we'll start getting into the post games. But it's been a pleasure. Look, I've been able to work with Glenn and Marty and some other folks as well. Man, it's been great. This has been a fun ride, and it's fun that it's continuing, and I appreciate you having me come on. I appreciate it.
Let me come down to Scottsdale, Glenn.
I'm going the 27th of February, and I'll be there through the 15th. So I'll be there for a little over 2 weeks. Yeah.
Terrific. Great.
We got lots of time, Marty. We're going to have some fun.
That's the best part, sitting in the dugout.
It is. I'm telling you.
Doing right now. Doing what we're doing right now, but we're doing the dugout with about 6 other writers, which is fun.
That's right. I'm looking forward to it. Hey, guys, thanks for coming on. You guys were great as always. I appreciate it. Happy birthday, Marty. All right.
Well, take care.
Appreciate awesome. These 2 guys are great. I love them. Marty Lurie and Eric Romo. Again, Marty Lurie, of course, his podcast is Marty Lurie and Friends right here on YouTube. And Eric Romo's Giants Sports Talk Live. They both do a nice job covering the San Francisco Giants. So great to have them on. We covered a lot of great stories. Spring training is less than a week away. So many things to watch for. I can't wait to get down there and get this whole thing going for the 2026 season. So that's it. Thanks for joining us, everybody. As you know, the Glen Kuiper Show brought to you tonight by the Carrick Real Estate Team. They've been helping families buy and sell homes across the Bay Area with a legacy of client-first service since 1978. So whether you're in the market to buy or sell, the Carrick Real Estate Team are the people that you want to call. They will bring it home for you. And I've dealt with them. Terrific family, terrific business, carrickteam.com. Call them at 925-548-4132. Glen Kuiper Show is also brought to you by the good folks at Tilden Properties. You'll see quarterly dividends and equity buildup in the real estate market if you invest with Tilden Properties, as they invest in California's multi-family real estate. They're Bay Area based and family owned, and they have been building investment wealth for their clients since 2008. If you are interested in becoming an investor, call 925-209-8558. Or if you're interested, check out their website and see their portfolio, tildenproperties.com. And the Glen Kuiper Show also brought to you by Partners Capital LLC, a wealth management firm providing financial strategies for elite performance and lasting peace of mind. Partners Capital, your partner for a stronger financial future. Partners Capital LLC. Call them at 888-702-7743. So that's it from the sponsors, and that's it for the Glen Kuiper Show tonight. Thanks to Marty and Eric as my guest. Plenty of Giants coverage, and there is more to come. Remember, next week, Tuesday, is when spring training starts. On Monday night, we will have kind of our spring training preview show for the Giants, as the next day the Giants will take the field. So that's exciting. So lots to talk about as we get ready for the 2026 season. Thanks for joining us tonight, everybody. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for your questions. And I appreciate all that. And thanks to all of you who subscribe to the Glen Kuiper Show here on my YouTube channel. We'll see you for the next edition of the Glen Kuiper Show. Thanks for joining us tonight. Have a good one, everybody.